Hi, how are you? My name is Wahiga. I'm an alcoholic, and welcome back to my channel. This is the mental wellness channel with Higgs Wahiga Mutero. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Thank you so much for being here on this channel. Now, today I want to talk about getting help. I've been getting a lot of requests and emails, and people just reaching out wanting me to talk about how do I get help? How do I get help for a family member that I know, or my sister's going through this, or my son is going through this? How do I get them help? Now, I want to distinguish this video in two separate ways. So, how do I get help in depression, and how do I get help as an alcoholic or for the alcoholic? So, we'll start with the alcoholic in mind. First of all, alcoholism is a disease. I hope that if this is the first time you're viewing my video, we've established here on my channel that alcoholism is a disease and that it is progressive and that it is a fatal disease. It is also a disease of the mind, the body, the soul. It is a disease that affects you psychologically, mentally, spiritually, physiologically. So it's an all-encompassing disease. And the symptoms, unfortunately, for alcoholism come out behaviorally. So bad behavior, basically. And to many people, it may seem like this person is making a decision to behave badly. But what these are actually the symptoms or the consequence of the behavior of alcoholism. And this could come in forms of manipulation, this can come in forms of stealing, lying, not adhering to their word, complete change in personality, stuff like that, in order for them to use or to drink alcohol. Now, to get a person like that help, you can either do an intervention. So an intervention is when you employ or you have help from professionals who are able to talk to your alcoholic and be able to talk to them about their personal drinking, or they have ways in which they can talk to the alcoholic in ways that will be able to reach them better. And what happens in an intervention is that normally, and I'm just talking from my point of view, I'm not talking from a professional point of view because I'm not a professional in this. I'm talking about my personal experiences or my personal stories. So, an intervention is when the family has spoken or has had a conversation with a professional about their alcoholic, and they've come up with a plan as to how to get this alcoholic treatment or help. So, an interventionist will either be a counselor or a former alcoholic themselves or someone in recovery, such as myself, and basically we'll work together or liaison with the family, and then we'll set up a plan with the family and go and present a plan to the alcoholic. So we'll catch the alcoholic at an opportune time. And normally a good time to catch an alcoholic is when they're hungover. Yeah, yeah. When they're hungover, just when they're coming off the booze, not when they're drunk. The worst time to talk to an alcoholic about drinking or their drinking is when they're drunk, because from personal experience, I have promised the world and everything when I'm drunk. I'll stop drinking, I'll stop doing this. There's no sense that is going to be made in that conversation. You think you're talking sense to someone, but you're actually not. But when you catch me in a phase when I'm hungover and I'm really in a position where, things are thick, that's when, if you hand me a lifeline, such as, get sober or you're out of the house, that may look more enticing, to me at that point in time rather than when I'm drunk. So that's one way of getting help to an alcoholic. When you set up a plan with an interventionist and then you sit down and you give certain stipulations to the alcoholic, and they have to make a choice, you know. It's either you go with this person, you get help from this treatment center, or this won't continue to happen under our roof, for example. And that will give an alcoholic something to really think about and consider. Another thing that an alcoholic can get help is from a 12-step program. Now, this is a very important, and I would really like you to hear me out in this. As a person who has gotten my help from a 12-step program and I daily benefit from getting my help from a 12-step program, I cannot advertise AA. I cannot advertise a 12-step program because I do not own AA. I do not endorse AA. I'm not the representative of AA, nor am I the embodiment of AA. I am not the result of AA. So if I ever were to pick up a drink again, knock on wood. Let's knock on wood again. If I were, God forbid, ever to pick up a drink again, and I've come here and told all you guys that I got sober from a 12-step program, and you saw that I got sober from a 12-step program, then all you guys would be inclined to say, oh, then that doesn't work. 12-step programs don't work because, you see, Wahiga, knock on wood, went and picked up a drink. But you see, that's not how our program works. Our program works on attraction rather than promotion. So I'm not here to promote AA. I cannot promote AA. I don't speak for AA. I don't speak for any 12-step program. I'm just telling you what helped me get and stay sober. A lot of people who are sober today are sober through various avenues. A lot of them got sober through church. A lot of them got sober through other programs. For me, it just happened to be a 12-step program. So when people have commented and left me comments or sent me messages asking me about the number or the contact number of a 12-step program, I personally cannot advertise or give you that information publicly because I am not advertising AA, if you understand what I mean. It is merely, I'm just part of it because I decide to be part of it. So what I advise you guys to do is please do your research. I'm not withholding this information from you. All I'm saying is please do your research. Please go to Google. Please look for 12-step programs in Kenya or wherever you are, and look for a 12-step program that is relevant to what you or your person is going through. And then you get that contact number for yourself and then get the relevant information and then seek it yourself. I cannot get you in, if you understand what I mean. You have to actively seek that information and get yourself to this program and then go from there. So I don't advertise it. I don't promote it. I don't speak on behalf of AA. I'm just saying in my life, this is what has worked for me. And as part of our traditions, I do not promote AA. So I can't, for example, leave the number of AA Kenya here, for example, and say, you want to get sober one step at a time. Here's the number. No, it doesn't work like that. This is a very sacred and spiritual program. And what works is attraction rather than promotion. So if you want what I have and you're willing to go get it, then please do the work and the research. Please just find a 12-step program that is relevant to what you're going through. There are many 12-step programs. If you are addicted to drugs, if you're a drug addict, there's Narcotics Anonymous. If you are addicted to alcohol, there's Alcoholics Anonymous. If you're addicted to nicotine, there's Nicotine Anonymous, and so on and so forth. So please do your due diligence. Please get the help that you need today. It is out there, but I cannot simply promote it. I will not do that. So go do your research, get the numbers that you need, and get the help that you need today. It is out there, and it is right around the corner. Trust me. Trust me on this. Okay, so we've talked about getting help for the alcoholic, and that can be done in various ways. There's intervention, where you set up an intervention for your alcoholic person, where a person from a rehab or whichever person interventionist you have decided to go with will come and sit with your person, and you guys have already talked beforehand about the stipulations and the consequences that you have agreed, so that when it comes time to giving a plan to your alcoholic, there is actually a plan. So you're not going to enable them anymore. You're not going to enable this behavior anymore. You have agreed that there is a problem, and you have agreed that there is a way to help this person. But that alcoholic has to decide if they want that help today. And if they don't want that help, then it's time to bear the fruit of the consequences. Then there's also 12-step program, which I've urged you to just Google the information from wherever you are, whichever community you are at, and then you will find the contact, and you'll be able to reach any 12-step program wherever you are, and you'll be able to get in touch with any 12-step program to get you help today that you need today. You can get that help. There's also a support system, and there's a 12-step program for the loved ones of alcoholics. That is called Al-Anon, and you can get help there for the families and friends of alcoholics. That is another 12-step program that you can explore. Please just do your research. Then there is also rehabilitation. So rehabilitation, you can look up most rehabilitations in Kenya. The one that I would recommend where I went, or I would suggest, is the Eden House Foundation. And why I would suggest them is because they did not have their own program within their own program. The other rehabs that I went to in Nairobi had their own 9-step program, or they just fed you a lot of medications, and they didn't really teach you much about addiction or why you're even here. It was just made to be like you've done a very, very bad thing, and this is why you're here. You're here to be punished because you drink too much and you're causing hell at home. At Eden House is the first time that I was made to feel like I'm a human being that is just sick. I have a disease, and that disease is alcoholism. And through Eden House, I was really introduced now properly to the 12-step programs that I'm talking about. And from there, I was really able to get a good foundation in terms of my sobriety, and a good foundation in terms of understanding what my disease is, and also a good recovery circle and support team. I have never, all my friends right now, everyone I know now is sober. Everyone I know now is in recovery. Everyone I surround myself now with is in a 12-step program, or, is really about that sobriety life. And I found that so important to have, as someone who is trying to just live one day at a time sober. Because for the longest time, I never knew that people struggled with this disease and actually maintained a sober life. I never knew that they could actually have a sense of normalcy. So to have a social network, and just to know people who are sober and but who also have this disease and the same struggles that I do daily is really, really important to have. So that support system has been amazing. So there's rehabilitation. Yeah, just vet and do your research on the rehabilitation centers that you're sending your children to or you're sending your loved ones to. Does this place follow a 12-step program? Does it believe in 12-step programs? Are you ask the doctors questions and the counselors questions? Are you medicating my people? Why are you medicating the person that I have brought here? You know, if it is necessary for them to be medicated, okay, but question certain things. Why do they have to be on 8 different medications? you know does the person seem to be getting better or not? Things like that. But I would suggest the rehabilitation period just for the person to be able to get off the withdrawals and to get off to have a duration of time in which they don't have alcohol in the system, to know that it's possible, like to just be sober for some time. And this gives the alcoholic time to now make a sober decision as to whether they would like to continue a sober life or whether they would like to go back. I think rehab is a pause. It gives you a pause. It gives you time out from the outside craziness and the life that we've been leading outside. And it just gives you time to pause and to make a decision as to whether being sober is worth it and whether it's doable with the right support system or whether we just go right back. Yeah. So those are the ways in which one can get help to someone who is an alcoholic in active addiction. Now, for depression, the ways in which I have gotten help. First of all, I have always, whenever the voices become too much, and normally my depressions normally go like this. In February, things start getting, start feeling uneasy. January, February, April. March and April things get really bad, and normally by May things have hit the fan. So by May I'm normally in hospital. And how I get to hospital is by vocalizing it. By the time I'm getting to hospital, I'm uncontrollably crying. I cannot get a grip on my emotions. I'm crying on the road. I'm crying in a matatu. I'm crying everywhere I go. I cannot put a lid on my emotions. There's no buffer anymore. And I am unable to contain myself. And I'm depressed all the time. So, no eating, insomnia all the time. So I'm always awake. I'm tired because I'm not sleeping. My mind has racing thoughts. And if I ever do get sleep, I wake up so tired because my mind has continuously just played and played and played that negative message all over again. So even though I'm sleeping, my mind isn't resting. So it's basically just uncontrollable thoughts. The thoughts just become uncontrollable, and it gets to a point where everything's just a mess. My emotions are out of whack. And it gets build up. Boom. So by the time I'm reaching hospital, and I really hate being admitted. All the times I've been admitted, it's been to Avenue and Chiroma Lane. By the time I'm getting admitted, and there's no fun in getting admitted. I mean, you're being monitored 24/7 by nurses. You wear these funny gowns all in average, but in other places you don't wear in the other place you don't wear funny gowns. And you're just being monitored and being poked and prodded, and the setup is just, it's very strange. If you're not sick, if you're not depressed, it's a very strange place to be in, because there are no key holds and stuff like that. Everything is suicide proof, right? Everything is suicide proof. So you can't hurt yourself, basically, which is good, which is really good, because by the time I'm getting there, I've thought of 1,001 ways to hurt myself. So by the time I'm getting to hospital, I'm just exhausted. I want to sleep. I just ask them, please give me the biggest sleeping injection. I want to sleep. I want to sleep. And that's when I work on just getting my mind back. That's when I work on sleeping. That's when I work on getting the right medication. So now hospital is just getting back on the right medication again, because clearly medications are not working anymore. So it's about trying to balance and, put up the antidepressant, get a high dosage of the antidepressant, switch to a different mood stabilizer, switch to Concerta, or try a high dosage of Concerta, maybe get a sleep medication because I'm not sleeping, but also making sure that these medications don't ruin my sobriety, because at the end of the day, I'm an addict. So I have to make very sure with my doctor, my psychiatrist, that he understands that I am an alcoholic. So these narcotics or these medications cannot influence my sobriety. Let's just say that. There was a medication that really messed me up, and I realized as an alcoholic, like, Valium is not good for me. Valium is Valium is not good for me, even though I like it. I like Valium a lot because it hits that alcoholic spot in me. But I can't take Valium because of that. It hits that alcoholic place in me. And if I'm left alone with Valium, I'll just keep upping the dosage alone. I think there was another Domicam. Domicam was nice. It was like liquid. It was like liquid. It was like alcohol in a pill. It was Domicam. But I had to get off Domicam because I lost time. I honestly thought I had drunk. And I took Domicam when I was 18 months sober. And I literally lost time. I lost like hours, like I had a blackout. And I remember I was in such a bad way. My parents had to come get me and take me to hospital. And I hadn't relapsed. But I had lost so much time and I didn't understand what was going on, that my mom actually asked me when I finally opened the door to my room. And she asked me, have you been drinking? And I remember being so offended, like, no, how? But also wondering, by the way, have I been drinking? Because I don't remember. I don't remember the last like 6 hours. How long have you guys been at the door? Because I was on Domicam. Yeah, Domicam is not good for alcoholics. Well, for this alcoholic, let me just say, for this alcoholic, Domicam was not good for me. So I had to get off Domicam, although I like Domicam very much. I like Valium very much, but I can't take those things because they hit the alcoholic spot in me. Yeah. So I have to go for medications that don't alter me. They don't alter my moods. You see, I don't like when people say that that antidepressants are happy pills. For me, medications are not happy pills. They just bring me to a level of normalcy. If my medications made me happy, trust me, I'd be happy. I'm not happy, I'm just normal. I'm normal. I'm not depressed. I made my bed today. I'm making this video. I'm sober by the grace of God, today, this morning. And I'm able to function. That's what antidepressants do for me. They bring me to a level of functionality that I'm like leveled with everyone else. So these are not happy pills or happy medications. I don't like when people say that antidepressants or mood stabilizers are like happy pills. They're not happy pills. They're normalizing pills. Yeah. So for me, depression calls for hospitalization, especially if the suicidal talk is happening inside. If I'm acting on or if I'm thinking about suicide, it's time to go to hospital because those are not normal thoughts. They're just not normal thoughts. And I'm very honest with my parents. As much as it hurts them and it hurts me to see them like that, I just have to be honest and tell them my disease is acting up. The bipolar depression is back. I'm having an episode and I want to die. I'm thinking about killing myself. I need to go to hospital. Things are thick. The medication isn't working. And I'm going to crash badly. And then that's when help comes. So that's normally how it happens for me. If the thoughts are there about suicide and you're constantly thinking about killing yourself, constantly, like it becomes like a raging voice inside your head, you have to tell someone about it. You have to tell someone about it because it's not normal. It goes against your very being to be thinking about killing yourself. Don't normalize thinking about killing yourself. It's not normal. It's not normal to want to end your life. So talk about it. Tell someone about it. And from then, help should come. Help will come. I don't know if it will be the form of hospitalization, medication, prayers, but something has to happen. Something will give. But don't keep those inner conversations to yourself. Tell someone that you love. Tell someone who loves you what's going on inside your head. That is not normal. Thinking about killing yourself. Yeah. So for me, what has happened is that I tell the psychiatrist, I tell my mom, I tell my dad, these are the thoughts that are going on. And they talk and they decide what help I need. But my part is done. I have told them what is going on. Yeah. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please share this video, watch, subscribe, share to your friends and to your loved ones, share to your family. Thank you so much for being a part of the mental wellness channel here with me, Higgs, aka Wahiga, aka Higgs. Until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. Cheerios!